Kids rock! Kids rock!
kidsrock.church.
We took a week off for Easter from game on, but who can remember what happened in week 1? What did we learn? Go ahead, just say it out loud. Teamwork. What did we learn in week 2? Actually, week 1 was working hard, week 2 was teamwork. But they all work together, don't they? Did we also learn that game player's not a very nice guy? Yeah, he's not a very nice guy. And we learned our 2 characters, Speedy and Macho Muscles, are trying to make it to the Masters of Gaming Championship and earn their ID cards. You have to be invited to the championship to get an ID card. So they're trying to work really hard towards that. So what do you guys think we're going to learn about today? We've learned about teamwork. We've learned about working hard together. We also learned that Jesus came out of the tomb, saw a shadow, and there were 6 more weeks of winter. Or is that Groundhog's Day? That's Groundhog's Day. I always confuse those. That fox really messed me up last week. So let's find out what they're still in the video game. Oh, they're still stuck inside the video game. So let's find out what game they're playing today. So far they've been able to pull it off. So let's see what we're learning about today.
That was a rough level.
Yeah, we had to work really hard.
Did I get everything off of me?
I think so.
Good.
But, you know, all that hard work was worth it.
It was, definitely. And now we're on to level 3.
Woo!
Are you ready to see what the level is?
Yeah, let's see what game we're playing. Sweet moves, this is my favorite.
I got some sweet moves too. It's one of my favorites also.
I love those chewy chompers.
I do too. So that is all we have to do in this game, right? Is shoot all the chewy chompers?
Yes, only the chewy chompers.
What happens to all the candy we blast?
Well, usually at home, after we play it, we eat some candy. Not chewy chompers though. I think in this one, since we're inside the video game, we get to keep all the candy, not just like a piece.
That's my kind of game. Who needs Minecraft with blocks? I want smart, sweet moves with candy.
Me too.
All right, let's do it then.
Let's do it.
Lock and load, Speedy.
Get ready. Blast the chewy chompers.
Nice one.
Thank you. Looking good over there too.
Yeah.
Getting all those chewy chompers.
All of them. Are those chewy chompers you're shooting?
Mostly.
You know we're not supposed to shoot chocolate, right?
Hey, if we're in the game and we get to keep the candy, I'm getting those chocolate squares this time.
But we're gonna lose if you shoot the chocolate.
Well, the chocolate squares are worth losing for, maybe.
You want to beat Game Slayer, right?
Yes.
Then shoot chewy chompers. I told you! Shoot the chewy chompers!
Yeah, maybe after this round.
Pause!
Did you guys see that? Maybe I should have told him before. He has a sweet tooth for chocolate. Chewy chompers, more like chocolate chompers. They don't stand a chance against me. Wait till I see what else I have up my sleeve.
Pausing the game was the right thing to do. It's important to obey the instructions in order to pass this level. There was a time when God hit the pause button on a man named Paul. Paul was a bully who hated followers of Jesus and looked for every opportunity to throw them in jail, and even threatened to kill them. One day, as Paul was traveling the road to Damascus, a light suddenly flashed around him. Paul fell to the ground and heard a voice from heaven that said, "I am Jesus. Why are you hurting me? Get up and go to the city. There you will be told what you must do." When Paul got up, he opened his eyes, but could not see. The men traveling with Paul could not believe what had happened, and led him to the city. God spoke to another man named Ananias. He was a follower of Jesus who lived in Damascus. God told Ananias to go to the house where Paul was staying and to put his hands over his eyes. If he did this, Paul would be able to see again. Ananias was afraid to go. He knew all about how Paul treated people and was scared he was going to end up in jail, or even worse. Ananias knew he needed to obey God's instructions, so he did what he had to do. When Ananias saw Paul, he placed his hands over Paul's eyes, and immediately Paul was able to see. There was something like scales that fell right off of his eyes. Because Ananias obeyed God's instructions, Paul's life was changed. Not only could Paul see again, but he knew God's love was real and he wanted to tell everyone about it. When we follow God's instructions, our lives can be changed too. God rewards us when we obey His instructions. So as you continue to play, keep on obeying. Good luck, players!
Now, only chewy chompers.
I know, I understand the rules are there for a reason.
Only chewy chompers.
I got you, Speedy.
Hey kids, do you want to help us out? Make it go faster? Clap your hands. Nice one.
Thanks, you too.
Good job, no chocolates, only the chewy chompers.
Man, I'm gonna miss those chocolates.
Well, I like chewy chompers better anyway.
Well, you're right. Chewy chompers get us to beat the game slayer.
They do, and that's what's important. It's following the rules.
Alright, level 3 down. 3 more trophies.
Nice job following the rules.
About that. I'm sorry, I did not know that following the rules was that important. I mean, chocolate squares. Who can say no to chocolate squares?
I know, but now that you know following the rules is so important, I bet you'll never make a mistake like that again.
I won't, and I even screwed up that level. The game slayer didn't even mess up that level. That was all my fault. So we breezed through it anyhow. Let's move on to level 4.
Well, I'm a little hungry, and there's not really much food other than candy in this video game.
You're right, we'll stop. We'll get some pizza on the way.
Alright, so now we've learned that we need to work hard, we need teamwork, and we need to follow instructions. How many of you have ever gotten a big piece of furniture and had to follow the instructions? Yeah, they're maddening. They will drive you insane. But whoever wrote those instructions, when he wrote step 1, he already knew what had to happen by step 23. So if you just go in order 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 23, everything works. But if you skip 1 and go to 5, or 5 and go to 10, or 10 and go to 12, 23 doesn't work out so well. God does the same thing for our life. He gives us an instruction manual here in the Bible that gives us rules that we have to follow. He also gives us rules that He wants us to follow, and the Bible said that He rewards us for following those instructions. Now, the weird thing is, and any big kid will tell you, sometimes those rules and those instructions don't make sense to us. As people, we constantly think that we're smarter than God, and God will say, hey, do this, and we'll go, yeah, but God, did you think about this? I promise you, God thought about that. Whatever He tells you to do, He has control of. And we're going to illustrate that for a minute. Why don't you go ahead and come up? While she comes up, this is something that's very important to me. My grandma and I used to have a lot of tea together. That was something that we did. And she would pour my tea all the time. And you want to see something weird. Look how old that is. What year does that say? 1884. So this teapot was made in the 1800s. And we would sit, we would do our devotions, and we would drink our tea together, and look at the cup. 1845. Do you guys know the Civil War hadn't even started when this cup was made? Now, this is really important. And what I need you to do is I need you to hold this. And we're going to pretend, and really pretend, that I'm God. And we're going to pretend that you're me. That way you don't have to take any responsibility for anything that happens. And I'm going to give you an instruction. And before you follow it, I want you to tell me what you're thinking. Okay? Can you do that? Alright, so I'm God, you're me, flip the tray over.
It's gonna breathe.
It's going to break, isn't it? Now, do you think that I'll be upset if it breaks?
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe I'll be mad at you? Okay, now you're a nice person and you don't want to do anything to hurt me, right? No. So all of a sudden we're out thinking God's instructions. God said to flip the tray over, but we're going, God, it's going to break, it's going to fall on the ground, it's going to make him mad. But God has control, doesn't he? Now, since he loves you, right? And even though I'm a pill, he loves me, right? Do you think that God would ever give you an instruction that's going to hurt you or cause you to hurt somebody else? Is that the kind of God we work for? No. So I'm going to give you the same instruction one more time. I'm trying to get you to a reward. Just like in the Bible, when we follow his instructions, no matter how bizarre they are, they lead to a reward. Just like when Ananias cured Paul, he didn't want to, but he did, and Paul became one of the strongest disciples for Christ. So we're going to ask you one more time. Do you want to flip the tray over? No. You still don't want, even though I just told you I have control. Okay, this is going on faith now. So here, I'll tell you what, I'll hold with this hand, you hold with that hand, we'll turn it over together. Hold it on the end, ready? Just turn it over, there you go. So nothing happened. They didn't fall on the ground, they didn't fall, they didn't break, nothing went wrong. Just like God has control of our lives, reaching that envelope, just like God has control of our lives, I have control of this. And even though she didn't know the outcome, I knew that even though I can take these off the tray, and even though I can put them back down on the tray, that when she flipped it over, it wouldn't fall, because I have the control. Just like God has control of your lives. He knows what's going to happen when you follow his instructions. He already has determined that. And what was the reward? In this case, it was a $10 Sonic gift card, because they have the best milkshakes in the world. They really do. So in this case, this was for the reward. Sometimes, let's give a round of applause. You can sit down. Thank you. Sometimes the reward isn't what we think it is. I'll tell you guys one more story from my life. My mom's a missionary. Not a lot of people know that. My mom and dad have worked for Mexican Medical Ministries for 20 years. One of the things that they can't keep in supply is tongue depressors. The weirdest thing in the world. You ever see that popsicle stick that the doctor sticks on your tongue and holds your tongue down? Those are very, very difficult to get in a mission field, and the reason is because they don't expire. Nobody ever throws them away. So the mission field has a very hard time acquiring those. They got a shipment of 11 boxes of tongue depressors in. And I know because I had to inventory them. I was about 17 when this happened. And we got a bunch of cases in. The next day, Sister Maria came up from one of our orphanages, and they were in desperate need. There was a flu outbreak down in Chiapas, and they needed tongue depressors desperately. Well, my mom was a little bit selfish about giving away her tongue depressors. So what she wound up doing is she finally decided, they're not mine, they're God's. We've been trying to get them for a year, we finally got them, and this must be why. So she gave over the entire shipment to the Chiapas mission. The next day, after the sister left, they had 2 semi-trucks showed up, start to finish, front to back, with tongue depressors. And that's a true story. They had enough tongue depressors to keep every single hospital, every single surgery center, every single orphanage stocked up for the next 2 years. And I think that that was a reward from God for her obeying him and giving those away to the mission field. We're going to pray before we dismiss to our trail time. And fifth and sisters, thank you guys for staying. Hopefully the visual helps with your lesson while you're in there. But we'll go ahead and pray, and then we'll go ahead and dismiss. Father, Lord, thank you so much for this opportunity, Lord, to be with the children. Lord, thank you for your lessons, for your will. And Lord, thank you for giving us instructions, Lord. Help us to be faithful and follow your instructions, no matter how bizarre, no matter what tea set they ask us to flip over. Please, Lord, just give us the faith and give us the strength to follow those commands. In your Son's name, amen. Amen. Please do not flip your mom's tea set over at home.